Today is Tuesday, June 27th, 2017, and I am in West Texas, between a place called Sierra Blanca and El Paso. Ultimately, I'm on my way to Phoenix, Arizona, and hopefully I won't have to take this load all the way to San Bernardino, California. But obviously I am near the Mexican border, as the music indicates. But it is right at dawn here, so it's beautiful in the desert. Just a pretty part of the world. Okay, it's the same day, Tuesday, June 27th, 2017, and I am in El Paso, Texas, which, if you know anything about the state, you know that it borders the country of Mexico. And so it looks very much like I imagine parts of Mexico might look. That brings me to what I want to talk about. Let me preface this by saying I love living in this country, in the United States. And I love coming to this part of the country for the Mexican influence that is here. However, I don't want the United States to become Mexico. There's a reason why the United States had rules, if not laws, I don't know if they're laws, but we had rules that anyone coming into this country needed to follow. You need to assimilate. That's a word I learned in elementary school. And to assimilate means to, from what I understand, to comfortably fit into, to learn the customs of a place into which you have come, and to adopt those customs so that you can pretty much fit in with what's going on around you. That's a good thing. And yet we have become so ridiculous in our attempt to be politically correct, which is really politically incorrect. It's politically insane, really. We have become such pussyfooters when it comes to American ideals that we don't force people to assimilate at all. We don't even force them to learn the language when they come here. I don't think that the United States ever officially made English its language, and it should have. That just makes sense. For a long time, English was the language everyone on the planet who wanted to excel financially learned. Now, if the world knows how important English is, why don't we here know? And why don't we protect the value of the language by insisting that anyone we let into the country learn the language? And they're not playing any Mexican music, so let me turn this thing off. We're in trouble in this country. We're in trouble because we have lost a handle on immigration. Now, we are a country of immigrants, yes, as this music, as what I'm seeing around me indicates. People came here legally, by and large, to this country as immigrants. So we are a country of legal immigrants. You don't turn your head on all of the sacrifices people made to get here legally just so you can allow people to come in and stay in illegally. That is a slap in the face to all those people who jumped through all those bureaucratic hoops to get here and to stay here. So to be fair to your citizens who immigrated here legally, you should not allow illegal immigration. That's one reason. The other reason you don't do it is because that promotes disorder, lawlessness. That is not a way anyone should want to live. Unless, of course, you have savage in your blood and you don't want order and you don't want law. I, for one, do. I want things to be done by the book. Now, yes, the book can sometimes be closed and mercy sets in and you deal with the case on an individual basis. I am all for that. But in most cases, here's the book, here's the law, we follow it. That is how I think things run best. Right now, because of what's going on with radical Islam, and I'm going to stop saying radical because it's Islam. No, it is not most of the Muslims on the planet who want to commit violence or who approve of it, but the ones who are doing it are Muslim. They may be a malignant strain of Muslim. Every culture has its stratum of people who are malignant. In the black culture, they have a name for themselves. It starts with an N. You know it. And I argue that there are N's in every culture. And these Islamic terrorists are apparently the N's of the Muslim world, I would like to believe. Because of them, regularly now today, in 2017, starting last year and even before then, there are bombings going on in places in the world that were formerly bastions of Western security. The United States, of course, London, Paris, Brussels, Germany. Please tell me why in the world these formerly Anglo-Saxon strongholds have given themselves up to Muslims. The United States gave ourselves up to someone named Hussein. We were, at the time, trying to fight and find and kill a man named Hussein. And we thought it was a wise idea to elect someone named Hussein. Now, people say, what's in the name? What's in the name? There's a whole lot in a Muslim name. A person doesn't get a Muslim name unless that one is a Muslim or is a Muslim sympathizer. You would never go to a country in in a Muslim world, and find that the president is named John St. Christopher. Why not? Because his name indicates that either he or his parents were indoctrinated as Christians, which is why he has that name. And if someone is indoctrinated as Christians, that means their holy book, their guiding force is the Bible, largely, or you would assume. Likewise, someone who is named Barack Hussein, the Quran is his guiding force. That is why you should not have allowed him to be president of this country. That was a stupid move on our part. And yet we wonder why the doors to Islamic freedom are wide open, and why in some cases, I promise you I'm not making this up, there have been cases where Muslims here have wanted the U.S. to not only respect their culture, but to follow it. To wear the burqa, to allow Sharia law, to condone it. No. But why not? We let Barack Hussein become president. In London, when they allowed the mayor, Khan, whatever his first name is, when they allowed him to become mayor of London, where the Queen is, this is Western civilization, the epitome of it. And you allow a Muslim to become mayor of that little country/city called London? What is wrong with white people? I want you all to maintain the control that you have had, not the control that had my folks under slavery and then Jim Crow terrorism. No, not that control, but the control that made it possible for me and my loved ones to leave our home and take our black selves into any mall or public space and not worry about being blown to bits. Yes, I want you to have that level of control. You see, because I know where I live. I don't live in Liberia. This country wasn't founded by me or people who look like me. And so I realize I live in a country founded by white men, and therefore there will be white privilege around me. I'm okay with that. Why? Because there is black opportunity for me. The opportunity was always there for me to excel in education and then step into any number of professional fields that I wanted. That was always there for me, and for that I am grateful. Now, does it mean I would get the same privileges as a white boy who descended from the Kennedys? No. And I need to deal with that. Suck it up and move on and take advantage of the opportunities that are there for me as one who did not descend from a Kennedy. See, there are just too many people who have been brainwashed into believing they should have everything the other person has. No, you should not. First of all, that's your pride talking. You don't deserve everything you want. Nobody does. When you work hard, when you acquire knowledge and skill, when you have a humble attitude and are willing to learn, should you have opportunities opened up to you? Yes, you should. But will you get everything that you want? No, you won't. And you should know that. Deal with it and move on. Stop whining and complaining. I do believe that the reason why we saw this great surge in this push for same-sex marriage is because of that same idea right there. I should have everything he has. It started just a generation or two ago when we started giving trophies to children in sports, regardless of whether they won or not. They got trophies. Why can't we have trophies? Because you didn't earn it. Let's give trophies to everybody so they can all feel good. What that did is it bred in these children an expectation that they should have everything everyone else has. That there is absolutely nobody on the planet who is entitled to anything I'm not entitled to. That there is absolutely nobody better than me. And both those ideas are wrong. As much as I like myself, as valuable as I think I am, as wonderful as I think I can be sometimes, I know full well that there is somebody better than me on this planet. And I know that there are people who deserve things I don't deserve. That humility is what is lacking in this current generation, which is why when they looked around, and first of all, there was nobody saying to them, no, that's wrong, don't do that. And so they became flagrant in what the Bible calls sin. They looked around and saw men and women getting married and said, well, they're getting married. Why can't we get married? It's the same thing. They got trophies. Why can't we get trophies? Well, you didn't get trophies because you didn't win. You can't get married because you're not heterosexual. You're not in a heterosexual union. Marriage is for heterosexuals. Deal with that, suck it up, and move on. Maybe suck it up wasn't the right word. I'm talking about homosexuality, but you get my point. We live in a world where people think they are entitled to everything. And you are not. There are rules you have to follow. There are rules that allow you into a country. If you don't meet the qualifications to come into that country, you don't come in, period. There are rules governing marriage. The Bible lays out the rules, and almost every culture on the planet had rules for marriage. It belonged to a man and a woman. Not everything belongs to everybody. That includes entry into a country. That includes entry into a marriage, a legal marriage. That includes so many things that we seem to think belongs to all of us. It's this attitude that I should have everything everyone else has that's gotten us into a whole lot of trouble today.